let's start with a problem that reviews some of the work that we did yesterday. Over 6 months, the average phone bill was $35 per month. Now, in this context, when somebody says average, they intend to say the mean. It says the bills for the first 5 months were $32, $35, $48, $29, and $31. What was the phone bill in the 6th month? Okay, so this is just like the first and third problems that you did on yesterday's daily practice to get started. So I would like you to find the answer to this one and then check your work and see how you did. So pause the video, do the work for this part of the question, and then when you're done, push play and compare your work to mine. Now that you can see the work that I've shown, you might want to push pause for just a minute if your answer is different than 35. But if your answer is the same, then it's time for us to finish the question. We're also asked to find the median, mode, and range for all 6 electric bills. Well, all of those things will be easier if we put the data in order from least to greatest. So it looks like the lowest bill was 29, followed by 31, 32, the 35 that we already knew about, as well as the 35 that we just found, and then 48. So if we go to find the mode, we'll see that the only number that's repeated is 35. So the mode is $35. That's the specific price that occurred the most. To find the median, we need to cross numbers off from the top and the bottom. That leaves 2 numbers in the middle. So we add them up and divide by 2. Well, to find the median, 32 plus 35 is 67, and 67 divided by 2 is $33.50. So that's the median cost of the bill. Now the range tells us the spread. The most expensive month was $48 minus the least expensive month, which was $29. Well, 48 minus 28 would have been 20, but this is one less than that. So this will just be 19. So the range is $19. All right, let's take a look at some box and whisker plots. In the next question, we see some box and whisker plots, one for a salesperson named Angela and another one for a salesperson named Carl. Now, they're both aligned with the same number line down below so that we can more easily compare them. So it says the box and whisker plots to the right compare the sales records for 2 salespeople. The first question is, which salesperson is more consistent? Well, consistency typically deals with a small box on the box and whisker plot, because that means that 50% of the data is happening in a small area. It also would encourage us to have small whiskers. The further the whiskers are spread out, the greater the range. And remember, a range is a measure of dispersion. So it's telling us that the values are really spread out. Now, as I look at this, I've got to try to estimate a little bit. It looks like Angela's worst month, she sold nothing. But her best month, she sold about 57. Compared to Carl's worst month, he sold 6, compared to his best month where he sold 62. So immediately we see that both Angela's minimum and maximum are lower than Carl's minimum and maximum. So it's not looking so good for Angela to begin, but let's also look at their boxes. The first quartile value for Angela looks like it's around 16. And the third quartile looks like it's around 42. If we subtract those, we can see that the IQR, the interquartile range, is 26 if we do 42 minus 16. Now, if we make the same comparison for Carl, his first quartile looks like it's right around 15. So that's slightly lower than Angela's first quartile. And his second quartile looks like it's around 46. So his IQR is actually going to be a little bit bigger. His data is a little bit more spread out. His interquartile range is 31. So when it comes to consistency, Angela is more consistent. 50% of her data fits into a smaller spread. So Angela is more consistent. We know what to expect with Angela. But Carl seems to sell more cars overall. If you look at Angela's median, it's only at 26. Whereas if you look at Carl's median, it's at 32. That means 50% of the time he sells more than 32 cars, and 50% of the time he sells less. Whereas for Angela, 50% of the time she sells more than 26 and 50% less. So it looks like overall, Carl sold more cars. Okay, in questions 3 and 4, you're asked to answer some problems that are very similar to what we just did in 1 and 2. So it's time to stop the video and do those 2 problems. When you're done, take a picture of your work and upload it in the Google Classroom.